Hello, welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I'm your host, Dewey Bear, and today we are talking about all the sorts of games that we dig through the release list and find so that you don't have to. I am totally botching the intro, but we're going to go with it. So, joining me today, as always, Roadypie.
Yay! Hello, hellos.
There was a joke I was gonna make about like the updo, but I feel like it's a spoiler for the later in the show, so we'll talk about that when that happens. But yeah, so looking very red.
Thank you.
So it's fantastic. All right. Yes. And next is TheRadioTom.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. I was surprised. You guys actually wanted me back, so thank you.
Your dulcent, sultry voice is always welcome.
Oh,
Always.
I love you guys to pieces. Thank you for having me. It's always fun to be with you, lovely peoples.
I was doing what Tom was banned. Well, you have been gravely misinformed. Already.
On demand's a refund now.
Okay, so I guess with that, go ahead. RadioTom, what have you been up to? I guess not just this week, but since we've last seen you.
Well, since we last chatted, I've been playing more and more of the game. Bastards. That has been a love of mine for the longest time. Last night,
I only heard the bastards part. What?
So the game Void Bastards.
Void Bastards. Okay. Oh, we talked about that.
Yep,
Yeah.
I love that game to pieces. They just had another update with more weapons, more bad guys, and stuff like that. So I've been playing that. Did the charity stream last night where I gave that new Man of Meat in a shot. Absolutely love that game. But I loved Until Dawn. Then we did some Darkest Dungeon for a while last night. But otherwise, it haven't been so good on my indie loves so much lately, and I'm sorry about that.
This is a confessional.
This is my confession. Yeah, that's and then a lot of teamfight tactics. I got a little addicted to it.
Teamfight tactics. What is that?
The League of Legends teamfight tactics.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the auto chest game. Okay.
Yep, I got a little addicted to that.
I think Merlin Temple. That's what you have in common with Merlin Temple. She's super addicted to that right now. So. Yep, so got a conversation starter there. All right, so...
Oh, what were you playing last night? Because it was a first-person, like, horror game.
That actually an indie game too. It was the Duck Season, which normally came out on. It first came out on VR, but they released a non VR version of it. So Duck Season PC. So we gave that a whirl last night.
Oh, this is a horror game? I had no idea it was a horror game.
There was another horror game that you were playing as well.
There was another that I did because I did Man of Meat in, and then Duck Season. I don't think I did another one besides those two. I'm a little forgetful, mostly because I was up late.
Yeah, it was a long stream for you.
But yeah, the only first person one that I remember that was horror was Duck Season PC. So. All
right, what about you, Rody? What have you been up to?
I've been playing a few games. I played a bit more of The Room 3, and because I got stuck on one bit, and it's always good to go away, have a bit of a think about it, and then jump back into it. And I'm now past that bit, and now I'm stuck on another bit. So it's always the way.
It's a gradual crawl through.
Yeah, and I've been playing this mobile game, and if I can find it, it's called I think it's the Tiny Room, and it's another kind of like puzzle kind of game that you have to go through and solve puzzles, find out what's happened to the town, everyone's gone, and that's good as well. And also I got the Steam key from a Kickstarter, Re-Legend, which has gone into early access, and I tried a bit of that today, and I got so frustrated with it because the loading times are absolutely horrendous.
Oh no.
Oh.
And it's but it looks fantastic. But I don't like the people's hair or whatever. They've got this kind of like neon glow about them, which I'm not liking. And so yeah, I'm just not in. I don't like that. But yeah, it looks like it could be a fun game if only I didn't get so frustrated with it. And yeah, so I still got a lot more to explore on it. So we'll see how they update it.
Well, it's got a cute aesthetic. They just probably need to polish up and improve the performance. So
yeah,
hopefully soon enough.
And be playing 11 and 14 as well. Final Fantasy 11 and 14. So yeah.
All right. And as for me, let me see. Don't think I've actually sat down and played any indie games this last week, but I did finally get to Yangsha in Final Fantasy 14.
Yay!
And I am. Oh, and as soon as I got to Yangsha, let me see. I just want to show. Let me see. Do they have it here? Factions. Guild Wars factions. Yes, they have it. Nice. So as soon as I got to Yangsha, I immediately got a huge hit of nostalgia for. Well, they don't show any images of it, for this region in Guild Wars 1 called Shinjaya Island, and I was just like, oh. So it's just the whole time I'm like, oh, look at this, look at that bamboo, oh, look at that, look at those mountains, oh my heart, because it's something I played through when I was a teenager with my cousins, and we played it all the way through just together, just online, and it was just oh my heart. So I've been going through that, so a lot of memories, and I've been getting back to some streaming, but it's just so hot. But I have been getting back into streaming. Now I have to be able to stream and also do my other stuff because I've started gardening and yeah, so I've got other things. So I need to figure out how to balance everything. But
that's always helpful.
Yep. All right, and with that, I think we're ready to go on to few little news points before we get to the release list. The first thing is we have just a little bit, a lot of folks have talked this to death, but the game Dark, if you didn't know, they had actually been offered exclusivity through. They had actually been offered that whole thing with Epic Games, getting the Epic Store, but exclusive. And they turned him down for a couple reasonable reasons. And as the developer said, is like, I like money. That's, part of the reason I make games. I want to make a living doing this. But he turned it down because he had just announced that it's going to be on Steam. And he was thinking in the long term, like, I want people to remember us well and to be a long-term developer. I don't want to just cash out and then not be able to hype people up for future releases. So it was really cool. It was kind of a contrast. He did not want to actually talk about this. He wasn't trying to get attention, but he got people were calling out like, "Oh, Dark, are you going to do this?" After a few other indie games went to Epic, and after announcing that they would be on Steam. And he's like, no, I'm not. And so I feel like he had to give an entire press explanation why.
If I could add something. So the game was coming soon. It'd been already up for over a year. So he said a lot of people had added it to their wish list. And then to go over to the Epic Store, he would
do you want that much bad will?
Yeah, exactly. So this is he wants to have good relationship with his customers. So
he's sticking to what he said in the first place, which is
Mm-hmm.
always big. It's one of those, if they would put it on both Steam and the Epic Store, like with not with like a time restriction or something, that'd be a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Oh,
But
he
they
asked,
wanted
he asked them that.
exclusivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want exclusivity over there, which of course now it's like, no, I said I'm putting it here, I'm sticking to it, and bless him for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is, like, we're even though we're Steam podcasts, we have no animosity really towards the Epic Game Store, but
Oh god, no.
there is a definite problem when the studios announce that they're going to be on Steam, and then they end up getting poached by the Epic Store. And it's their choice, and the Dark dev here displayed that it's his choice. Now, it wasn't an easy choice because Epic offers a lot of money. This is like years of income worth for this dev, of guaranteed sales. And I could definitely understand that it was a difficult choice in that moment, but he was like, you know what, I'm thinking of the long term. And there's probably wisdom in that because he's won a ton of goodwill because of it. But yeah, it's interesting. I still understand other devs who do end up going Epic exclusive because it is a risk. Like, it's a situation, like, especially if you have underlings and like people working with you. Underlings, that's probably not very good. But employees, especially when you have
minions.
Me and Tom, your underlings.
Yeah. Especially when you have employees that are relying on you, and you're like, oh man, like I could guarantee all these people's income.
But
for years out.
The big revenue split I know is the attractive, because of course Steam does 70-30. That is their split, where Epic is offering 88-12.
Yeah.
Where that is a big chunk of change. It's not like 1 or 2% different. That is like a full 18-point difference. Like, that's a good chunk of change, especially like if a game goes popular. The only downside, of course, is Epic picked up a lot of negativity, ill will, thanks to all of what was kind of deemed as the spyware, where there was stuff that was looking into your Steam account, your friends list. That was one of the biggest, where everyone stepped aside. And of course, Steam has the bigger user base ish, because of course you got the king of Fortnite over there. Minus World of Warcraft Classic is right now putting Fortnite in its place, but we'll see if that holds on. But with Fortnite and the Epic Store, you wonder how many people are actually going to be looking at other games other than Fortnite. What's the base over there looking like? Now granted, Epic does throw their 2 free games every week too, to try to draw people in. So it's one of those, I would love to see how many users that they have over there that don't play Fortnite. Because even though that 88-12 looks amazing up front, it is how many people are actually going to see it and pick it up over here versus how many people would have access to it over on Steam. But on the Steam side, would I get buried if I go over there? Because look at how many games come out, and like our list here is hefty this week, and that's on indies.
Yeah.
So how buried would you get? There's a really weird balancing act that they have to do. And to kind of finish back around to what we said earlier, it is, they promised that they would do it on Steam, and I'm happy they're sticking to Steam. But you can understand if they want to try.
Akiho brought up a couple very salient points. The first thing is that Epic didn't reach out to Dark until after they had a ton of wish listed. Like, they knew they were a desired studio, and they didn't reach out until then. So I'm pretty sure it's very intentional on Epic's point. Also, Dark was like, hey, we'd happy to be a non-exclusive on the Epic Store. And that sort of shows where there's been some conflict of narrative with the Epic Store about, whether they're actually doing it for the indie devs or not, like, not being anti-consumer behavior, because they were like, no, we don't want you. We only want non-exclusive, non-indie games, pretty much. So there is that. So it did show a little bit of hypocrisy. Again, don't have a real problem with the Epic Store. I am definitely getting my free 2 games every week. So, but yeah, and also, of course, yeah, if a dev like, hey, we don't eat, or we go with the Epic Store, it's a hard position, and no one should really. It's just important. I think it's important that when devs do that, and it changes from what they've said they're going to do, that they be A, realistic about it with their customers, and B, humble about it. Like, hey, they should be conciliatory in how they approach it and not defensive. There was another game not being mentioned at the moment, but that was more defensive and not really conciliatory, and that did not win people over. So,
I saw that one, and it's one of those. Especially looking at the controversy that happened with I want to say it was Apex Legend with their loot store that came around, where the devs, at least a community manager on Reddit forums, decided, I'm gonna talk like you guys, and I'm gonna call you pardon a little language, ass hats, freeloaders. Like, oh, let's see how this goes. And the worst part, if you read the forum going into what he said, he had every right to. It was you were the scum of the earth, you were this and that. And what he said was like meant to be lighthearted, but when you're a dev, you have to eat humble pie galore, and be the bigger person, and just you got to be polite. You can't fire back hard. You just gotta. It's a weird world we live in where we as consumers can kind of poop all over these devs who put their heart and soul into everything, and they can't
send
say
out
anything
death
back.
threats and things like that.
I mean, there's never an excuse for that, but when it comes to service industry is service industry, and there is, of course, always a line that like, hey, we refuse to give service, but when it comes to legitimate concerns of people, you got to be conciliatory.
Ooh, big time.
Even if you've answered the question 100,000 times. So yeah, it's that, like, it's just public relations 101. But yeah, it definitely sucks when the mob goes after him, and there's never an excuse for that. Grow up, people. All right, and so with that news out of the way, I do have something that's really exciting, not a release, but something that's upcoming that I am stupidly excited for. So, the Heroes of Hammerwatch, as you all may know, I'm a bit addicted to this game. I finally felt like I finished it, and I put it down because I finished the Pyramid of Prophecy. Well, just in time, Crackshell Studios went ahead and go like, oh, hey, we have another DLC coming. So it is the Moon Temple, and I am so incredibly excited. So
we're not going to see you for a few weeks then when it's released.
When it comes out, yes, I will be. This will be the game I'll be playing. So I am very, very excited. This is one of my favorite studios at the moment. They're out of Sweden, although a lot of the development takes place in China. But yeah, it's not going to be a very big expansion, but they're saying, they're being upfront, it's probably going to be just a few dollars, just like their new class expansion. So it's going to be kind of a medium-sized game mode, but yeah, I'm really excited. So hyped.
That's awesome.
Then they throw in a DLC. Yes, I love it. Watch us doing it. Yes, I love Here's a Hammerwatch. Anyhow, we do have one more article of news, and that is there has been a lot of releases of student games these past couple weeks, and really these past 3 or 4 weeks.
You could tell summer finals came around.
Yes, so we're gonna feature maybe 1 or 2 of these, but I just recommend y'all go to the new releases section, check out new releases, all new releases, and then just they're generally free. So if you just narrow it down to free games, is there a way to narrow it down to free games? Free. Let me see.
You can start free first.
Yeah. There's been a lot of recent releases that have been free, and a lot of those are student games. So there's so many. Like I think if I just search DigiPen, I'm gonna find a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Just there is a lot, a lot of 2019 DigiPen games. Like there's Perspective that came out. This is kind of like kind of like Fez, sort of. Yeah, where it's like you're turning. Except this one, it's all about changing your perspective by moving the camera. But yeah. So there's a lot of very clever games. Most of them I wouldn't say are like cream of the crop of the week, but they're free, so check them out.
If you do play those, you may not be a reviewer, but try to leave feedback if you can too, because especially for those learning, trying to get into it. Constructive criticism is actually probably one of the best things you can help them with, besides like people actually playing and them getting themselves out there. But anything that you can do to kind of help out would probably be like benefit somebody.
And you know what? I'll take 1,000 student games over shovelware. Like
absolutely. Yeah.
Because these student games show the principles of game design. They often show some interesting ideas. And they're just cool. A lot of them are just really cool, and they're free experiences. So
we need to do like one show or like at some point and just like list a bunch of free games that we think are like the cream of the crop.
Yeah, the best of the best of the free games. I do kind of want, like, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but maybe some sort of roundup towards the end of the year of like the best of 2019 or something. But yeah, they got to do something like that, because there's just been so many really cool things that folks need to check out. But yeah, I'd say student games, like, you know, there's all the shovelware we dig through, but then with the student games, there's so much promise, and these are people's portfolios. So if you leave feedback, it's, you know, you could be helping a dev like get into the industry, and you could see like a AA or AAA version of these games eventually. So it's cool.
Yeah, between them seeing interest in their concept, that idea, it's just helpful.
Yep. Oh yeah, baby walking simulator. Yes, that is something that came out that we'll not be talking about. But yes, it is one of them.
No.
Riot, I'm out.
All right.
Well, before you go, should we go into the list of honorable mentions?
Oh yeah, yes we should. So the honorable mentions, we're gonna get started with. The first honorable mention is Rad. Oh right.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do my usual. It's a 3D action roguelike set in a post-apocalyptic, I can read, world where humanity has faced Armageddon not once but twice. Oh, and it's Double Fine, who's now bought out by Microsoft back in June.
Oh, aren't they owned by Bandai Namco?
No,
they're published by
but yeah,
okay.
Double Fine, got picked up by Microsoft.
So they're like double not indie, which is one of the reasons why we have them in the honorable mentions. But seeing that happened in June, this was likely in development before the before the sale came through. So this is probably still indie at heart. Yeah. I've seen some, there's been some YouTubers who have done some playthroughs of this, and it's basically like, as you run around, you end up laying down like greenery and plants, and it speeds up your movement as you leave behind a trail of life.
Leave behind
a trail of life, yes. So, yep, it's really
interesting
funny,
mechanics,
so. Yep.
And interesting character designs as well.
See someone turning into a snake. It's got kind of the Borderlands cell shade light vibe to it. Like it's not 100% cell shade, but at times you can see where it's they wanted to do that, but
yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that is right. That is by Double Fine. They were based out of San Francisco, California.
And that's £15.99.
Yep, or $19.99 US.
I'll miss you, Tim Schafer.
Yeah, I met him. He's such a nice guy, and he let me hug him, and he's so nice.
I'm mad jealous. Okay, I need to get over there and hug you so I could have hugged him by proxy.
Yeah.
And mostly because I want to give you a hug anyway.
Yeah,
Aw.
I was gonna say, well, that'd just be nice for me anyway. It's like,
Yeah. Aw.
"Ah."
All right.
So much love.
Our second honorable mention is Telling Lies. You'll probably have seen this. I think it was featured at Gamescom. I've seen it at some major shows, but yeah. So this is another one of those cool FMV games.
Four
Yes.
private lies, one big lie. Search through secretly recorded video conversations to discover the truth. The successor to the acclaimed Her Story. As one of the actresses from the terrible season of Scrubs that we never talk about.
Oh yes. But yeah, if you liked Her Story, this is kind of like a, I don't know, like a follow-up or in the same vein, basically. But yeah, it looks a bit more. There's a bit more to it to this one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it.
There is one thing that I've seen repeated among the negative reviews about it is that the clips are very long, and there's not a simple button to start from the beginning of the clip. Like, you have to rewind. And some of these clips are 8 minutes long.
Oh my god.
So there is a lot of like rewinding, and because you often go into a clip in the middle because you're using keywords.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's can be very irritating to people, but even with that mechanic issue, it's still mostly positive. So people are into the story.
Yeah, it's good. It's 1549. But yeah, I played Her Story and I enjoyed that. So I'll probably pick this up eventually. So this is going on my wish list.
Oh, that's one of the gals from Westworld in it.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, anyhow.
Oh, the name's Telling Lies. Yep. I'm trying to see if they just got the list of actors just somewhere. they have it in the video, but I don't know where to rewind it to. Anyhow, with that, yeah, so some really good actors.
Yeah,
there.
it says it stars Logan Marshall Green, Alexandra Shipp, Kerry Bichet, and Angela
Oh, there we go.
Sarafian.
Yep, she's the one from Westworld.
All right, and with that, we're ready to jump into the actual release list. So yeah, we've got a ton of games, so we're gonna go as efficiently as possible through them because there's a lot. And and Telling Lies is probably 15 UK and 19.99 US.
Yeah, I did say.
Oh, cool. Oh.
Yeah, and I put the American in chat.
Oh, nice. All right, so our first, the release list starts on Tuesday, August 20th with Redo!
Redo is a game about a girl trying to find another human in a dystopian world overrun by biomachines. It's a lonely and evocative game about exploring the unknown and overcoming obstacles to see what is left.
So this one, my cousin in particular is super hyped for this. When we featured it, we actually kind of featured it a while ago, several episodes back when it entered in early access, before we kind of set up the rule that like we don't show early access games really. But yeah, it's out and it has a very positive recent review rating of 90 and an overall of 94%. Yeah, and these are made by devs out of Brazil. So, well, Robson Paiva out of Brazil to be specific. So, but it's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, the one thing that I'm seeing to it that actually kind of surprised me a little bit from where I was originally looking at the screenshots and the video is it's a non-linear exploration, which I love that because this kind of looked like it was going to be like you go from left to right or left to down or something like that. It's like no, it looks like you get to explore around this, which I'm a super big fan of that.
Oh yeah, it's a straight up adventure. I don't think it's a Metroidvania exactly. You do get upgrades as you go, but it's not. It doesn't have the sort of same functionality. But yeah. Let me see what other reviews.
It looks interesting. This like dark, moody, dystopian vibe to it.
Yeah, the color palette is just really good because oftentimes pixel art, when it's going for a darker theme, gets really muddy. But this one doesn't. It's still very crisp and pretty. Also, not crunchy. Like the animations, there's a lot of in between animations, which is good to appreciate for the sprites.
There's one of the screenshots I'm looking at right now that I'm actually not a big fan of the colors, and it's just like the platform that they're kind of walking up on. Like it looks like it's supposed to be outside ground, and it is just like one solid color all the way through.
Yeah.
And it's like everything else is like textured and all this, and this is just plain.
I see what you're talking about.
But otherwise, it is really pretty. Like everything's just good to look at. It's not just duplicated textures galore. It's like everything's placed differently, and I like it.
Yeah, it's good. I really like it.
And this is Robson Paiva's first game.
And it's £7.19. It's not something that I would enjoy, but it looks like it's done really well, and a lot of people would really like it.
Yep, and it's $9.99 US. So with that, we can go on to Wednesday, August 21st, with the game No Time to Relax.
No Time to Relax is a life simulation game where up to 4 players online or locally compete against each other in the ultimate game of life. Oh my goodness.
I love the look of this. It looks so interesting. I like that like board game kind of feel, sort of game of life sort of thing. And you manage your time. You've got to manage your time and your money very well, and of course your energy levels. But yeah, it's and it's great. It's like 4 players as well,
with single versus CPU, online with friends, keyboard, mouse, controllers, with pass and play supported. They're doing this right so far.
Yeah. And I love the storybook aesthetic. It's really nice. I say getting clones, who needs those? Yes, indeed. But yeah, it's a game of life by Porcelain Fortress, and they are a pretty prolific developer. Nope, I am wrong. I lie. This is their first game. I feel like I've seen them before though.
This was a Kickstarter.
Oh, this is a Kickstarter.
Yeah, so you might have seen it there.
Maybe.
But
I'm totally picking this up.
Yeah, me too. I would really love to play this with somebody.
I would play this with you, Roadie, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
We need to get together and play this together.
Yes.
I'm totally down for this.
We need to make it happen.
The Steam Release podcast bringing people together.
Yeah, this game looks really fun. Looking at the reviews, I mean, this is a multiplayer game, so time played through, but a single playthrough looks like it's probably an hour and a half. But
and that might be to learn it too. So
yeah,
if
true.
this is board game esque, there is a learning aspect to it. So the time amount of like a single game could be a little bit longer as you're learning.
Yeah. Yep. True. All right. So Porcelain Fortress, very cool. And with that, and they are based out of Reykjavik, Iceland.
Ooh.
So yes. Now our next. Sorry.
Sorry, I like it says decorate your apartment with shitty stuff and fancy things.
Yes, I like it. They're very tongue in cheek about it, and they're also it's also like a commentary on like materialism. It's very funny.
Sorry, I'll let you carry on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So our next title is Jera. This is the student game that we decided to feature. It is out of DigiPen Institute of Technology in Europe-Bilbao, and yeah, it's a 2D. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. I'm just sitting here with my mouth dropped while I'm looking at this, realizing this was a student game. Going, oh, this looks so good.
It does.
Jera is a 2D platformer game in which the main character will improve its mobility, gaining elemental powers affecting the stability of the world.
Yep.
They need to work on their description a bit, but the game looks good.
It needs to have some like oomph, like some immersion. Yeah. Especially with this which kinds of be seems to be a sort of story-based game. But yeah, it looks
even
nice.
looking at their about this game, description is definitely not their territory.
No. But oh my word, it is beautiful. Again, kind of have that a hand-drawn, digitally hand-drawn aesthetic. It is very, very sweet.
The offset moving backgrounds, like the multiple layer, everything moving slightly different. It looks so good.
Yeah, it's got beautiful layers. It's got, you know.
Though this game was not built in an engine. It was built just in C++. So they made all the functionality from scratch, which is also pretty impressive. I've got one positive review, one negative review, but it's free. So check it out and see what you've you got nothing to lose except a little bit of time. But yeah, so there's so many other student games that we haven't gotten to talk about. It's just impossible. There's been a couple dozen. So, but do check out. It's an awesome set of titles and has. Oh yeah, and Bilbao, the Bilbao branch of DigiPen, also released Poppy's Nightmare, which has a similar aesthetic actually.
But yeah, do check out all of DigiPen's library, and there might be something that you really like in there.
A coder, not an English major. Yes. All right, so with our next title, it's from Thursday, August 22nd. This is Steambirds Alliance.
Which is a massively cooperative bullet hell shooter. Fly with dozens of your feathered friends in an open world full of cruel cat bosses. I said cat bosses, and that's right. And endless waves of deadly bullets.
Yeah, so this is from Seattle, Washington, and normally I know about MMOs coming out. This one completely surprised me. I mean, it's massively co-op, but yeah, multiplayer bullet hell in a big open world. That seems really fun, actually.
Wow. It looks insane.
Yeah,
lots of fun.
Bird rebels versus the feline empire.
I love the theme of the birds fighting back against the cats, even though I do really like cats. But it's so cool. I like it. The feet. Let me see. It's it is out of Seattle, Washington, so my area of town. Spry Fox, have they done anything else? Let me just check. I feel like
they did.
Yes.
Their Road Not Taken.
Oh, so. Yeah. So they've done some other games.
Oh, and
all the way back since 2012.
They do a lot of the mobile games, Triple Town and Alpha Bear.
Yeah.
I think they are most well known for Alpha Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that aesthetic. They're really cute. My word.
I love that little bear.
He's
but,
so cute.
Yeah, that was all over Facebook when people were playing that, and because of the weird uses of the words that the weird sentences. Great.
Oh man, it's super cute. Just sort of a bullet hell, and yeah, it's free to play, so check it out. I mean, monetization, I have no real hints about. Even reading reviews, I didn't see much about monetization. All right, so the next title is from Friday, August 23rd, and it is Strength of the Sword Ultimate.
A fighting game combined with a brawler with a huge sword, rocket launcher, and a flamethrower.
Damn, all those caps. So yeah, this is by Event Games. They're based out of Sofia, Bulgaria, and I believe we also saw this. I don't know if we featured on the show, but I remember seeing this in early access before, so it is finally out.
The art, I'm loving the art style of this. It looks like looks like over the shoulder combat, or at least camera work. But that art style is kind of Tim Burton-y with more color.
Yeah.
Tim Burton with more colors. That is so very exact, right on the nose. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's just hard to explain. But yeah, Tim Burton with colors. Yep. It's this game, I like the sort of simple aesthetic, and it makes it's a budgeted game that doesn't look like it has a budget, like a really low budget. Like it's so sharp looking. It's really nice. And it's all a boss battler, so you basically go fight a boss on one stage, then you go to the next stage, and that's basically what it is. It's mostly just boss battle after boss battle in these different multi-shaped arenas. And it's just very sharp like that. It's just very, very simple. I think it's about 15 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good, because it's £7.19. So
yeah,
you get
$9.99 here.
Right, I've seen some folks with more like 10 hours, but in order to, there was like multiple ways to complete it. But yeah, it's just fighting bosses at different difficulties. So it just looks fun. I am really tempted to put this on my wish list.
Yeah, I feel you. Especially the $9.99 price point and how it looks and everything. I'm tempted.
Yeah,
very tempted. And the list marches on with Plunge. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, it's time to take the plunge into the adventure of Billy, the billionth prisoner who longs to find freedom on the other side. Dodge, dash, and defeat a wide variety of guards, creatures, and other worldly beings bent on preventing Billy's passage in this exciting turn-based dungeon plunger. There needed to be more commas. Sorry.
This game is very weird. When I first saw it, I don't think I've ever seen a game that's super similar to this, where they sort of take that mechanic of, you go from one side of the room to the other, that sort of puzzle game, and then just add like turn-based combat. It's a neat combination of elements.
Did you ever play the old PC Beetlejuice game?
No.
Because this is exactly the first thing I thought of when I saw this. That is the similarity I'm running into. It looks like the combat might be a little bit more different ish, but it definitely is taking vibes off that old Beetlejuice game.
I'll be honest, like from a distance, I did not think much of the aesthetic, but when I finally did go look at the video, I was like, oh, this looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
So I was very impressed by that. It's got that whole where they just have the different bones, sort of like paper puppet, the paper puppet animation, which is very cheap. So they did a smart usage of it, and they chose an art style that really fit with it. So kudos to the studio. They are,
over 400 randomly selected levels across 3 separate challenging sections. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a big game.
And it's only £5.79, so definitely worth it.
And they have a soundtrack.
$7.99 US. Sorry.
Yes. But yeah, they're based. It's by Spooky Buns Games. They are based out of Portland, Oregon. So another Oregonian game. Good job. And on a similarly weird art style note, we have our next title, Death Crown.
Death Crown is a minimalistic, real-time strategy game in a 1-bit style where you will be play Death herself, commanding her legions of death and punishing humanity's kingdom for its overconfidence.
So forgive the grammatical issue. Yes, this is developed by a studio out of Novosibirsk, Russia. I have a coworker from Novosibirsk, so
really, that's
awesome. No, it's copyright music, probably. Mute it. Anyhow,
talk over. Is it over? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. I have to say the look of it, the sort of drawn in paint with a pencil kind of look, it's pretty cool. Very, very grotesque, very like strange.
Also very throwback too.
Yeah, very.
I know throwback gets like thrown out there a lot, but it reminds me of an old DOS game.
Yeah.
Like something I would have thrown like a floppy in. and this would have came up. But
Mhm.
of course, it looks a lot more. Lot of it's a lot more polished to it. But
yeah, the animation is so much better, and
Yeah.
it's just so good. They've just done it so well, and
Mm.
I think this is a game I would have, when I was younger, definitely would have picked up because I like those kind of like real-time strategy games. But now, I'm more about relaxing.
Yeah, real-time strategy is really stressful for me.
Mhm.
I'm just like, no, I can't do this. But it's got a really cool look. I like how this I really like it when people take a very old-fashioned art style and upgrade it with a modern, like how they do it with modern engine. It's just like I've been saying, the golden age of pixel art is now. I've said this in some previous things. Like, you're never going to see as pretty of pixel art back in the past as you do nowadays. It's just amazing. And, oof, this art is so good. But yeah, Death Crown by Cosmonaut. I think this is their first, this is their first title. And they are selling their soundtrack.
I had to say, when I watched the trailer, I didn't really like the soundtrack so much that they put to it. I don't know.
It for me, it's music I like. So yeah,
I mean,
I'm okay with it.
The thing is, it's music I like, but it's not music that I would put to that.
For a strategy, like so with
Yeah.
with the animation that they were doing with the face and stuff, I'm like, all right, this feels like something like Metalocalypse on like Adult Swim in a sense. So it's like, okay, this kind of makes sense with where they're going that way, but for the actual like real-time strategy part, no.
But that's £9.19.
Yep, it's also $9.99, so they're not really adjusting for the exchange rate very much. But yeah, so that is Death Crown. Our next title is Biolab Wars by Colibri Game Studios out of Brazil. Again, Santa Catarina, Brazil.
It's a good day for Brazil. Inspired by the 8-bit games and by the movies from the 80s, your goal is to blow things up, defeat aliens, and fight bizarre bosses in this 2D with this platformer 2D with classic mechanics. Very, very Contra. Very Contra.
I have to say, like, they need to get a graphical artist for their logos and stuff, because initially I was gonna pass up this game, but the pixel art in the actual video looks really nice. Because sometimes when you're going through the release list, it's just like, nope. But
yeah,
but yeah, that thumbnail is awful.
Not great. No, it's not a great thumbnail. They should have done the pixel art thumbnail. But yeah, the game looks really nice.
And it's 99 cents.
And one of the bosses is a mecha polar bear. Well, it's like a polar bear with like a robot body. That's pretty cool. I like that.
So cool.
And add to cart.
Yes, 99 cents. It's pretty easy.
Yeah,
so
it has those 80s old school vibe. I really like it. But yeah, and it's 79p. So
you get 3 playable characters, 4 weapon types, frag grenade, and 7 stages with 3 levels each, and boss fights, probably at the end of each of the 7 levels. But yeah, so they've won an indie game reward in Rio de Janeiro, and yeah, a lot of stuff about surprisingly good game. Nostalgic. Any negative reviews? I don't see any on the list. Yep. So yeah,
that's pretty good. 7 stages with 3 levels each. Quite a big game.
And especially at the price point too. That's not bad.
Yeah.
It is supremely reasonable.
Yes.
So yeah, check it out, Biolab Wars, and it is Colibri Game Studios' first title. So yeah, welcome to the game industry. All right, so our next title is Mekabolt by Some PX out of Caserta, Italy.
Use your trusty Mekabolt device to manipulate robots, solve a variety of puzzling levels, and obtain batteries to fix the robots.
Now, some PX, I don't remember his name, but he is a pixel artist that he is contracted to work on various different indie projects. And this is, I guess, is one of his first games that he just made himself. So.
Yeah, because this art style is very similar to like two very successful indie games. I don't know. What was it? Reventure? Is it Reventure?
I think you're right.
Reventure. Oh yes, this looks kind of like Reventure.
Yeah, and there was another one as well. But yeah, this is that sort of art style. I've seen a lot around now. But yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's let me see. Anything else? 100 levels of intricate puzzle platforming challenges, colorful 2D art. The levels aren't very large, but they do gradually get more difficult according to the reviews. So it's just like
you're playing as a theme park technician.
Yes.
Right.
In a deadly theme park, clearly. My word. People pay for this. Anyhow.
It's $4.99.
Same.
Yeah, $4.99 US. Yeah. Again, not adjusting for, but I mean it's not that expensive.
No, it's quite reasonable.
Our next title from good old Sheffield, England, is Mable and the Wood.
Hunt down massive beasts, and upon destroying them, shapeshift into their forms in order to use their powers to save or destroy the world. Players with less violent intent can find secret paths to complete Mable without killing anything, including bosses.
Oh.
Interesting.
So it's one of those games where you can do a pacifist run.
Interesting.
That always provides a sort of neat mechanic where you can try to avoid combat, and how you have a whole different game now. But yeah, anyhow, go ahead.
But yeah, this is standing at mixed right now, at 64%. So somebody was saying lacks variety in enemies and enemy attack movement patterns. Map is useless at the moment, so it can be unclear at times about where to go. Collecting, keeping gems is a chore. You lose a lot on being hit, and they disappear very quickly. So, hopefully, the dev is on to fix these things.
I mean, some of those seems like legitimate design choices, though. I don't know. But yeah, it is mixed, so clearly there are definite issues with it. But as of August 31st, this came on the 23rd, they did an update on August 27th and August 31st, so looks like they are getting their updates out there.
Yeah, rather quick too. Good for them.
It's a wee bit crunchy as far as the art style. I mean, there's good color, there's good, some of the character designs I do like, but I don't know, it's like I'm definitely not. It's not the most impressive pixel art. Yeah.
No.
This
looks a bit flat.
It's a little less polished. Celeste is kind of the vibe I'm getting off of this. It's almost like they use that as it's like they use Celeste as a reference for this at some point, and it just not quite the polish and finish on this.
Yeah, that is kind of a feel I'm getting. But this is by Triple Vision Games, and is their first title. So, you know what? Really not bad.
Yeah, the price point though, it is $11.25. I would have thought they would put it a bit cheaper.
Yeah,
$14.99 here in the US, and I'm with you there, Roadie.
It is kind of cool that it does sort of offer that two ways to play through. You can go the pacifist run, or you can just play it with killing the monsters. So that's unique. I like that. That's a cool idea. Sort of. Yeah.
I wonder if there's different endings for each.
That would be cool if there was multiple endings. I'm trying to see. Will you banish the darkness, or will you become it? Oh, maybe.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, multiple endings. They do. Yep, there are multiple endings. So
Awesome.
Very
Okay.
cool.
That definitely it makes more sense on a playthrough of like, all right, I'm doing this versus this, but I get the exact same conclusion.
Yeah.
It doesn't always sit right with me, so that I'm glad that's the case.
Yeah. It'd be weird to have a passive surround and not have a special ending.
Yeah.
So, because ultimately you did completely do entirely different stuff. So, our next title is from Monday, August 26th, and it is River Legends: A Fly Fishing Adventure by Dan Tat Studio, who's just a fellow from the US.
Explore and fish your way across the rivers and lakes of Pine Canyon in this delightful 2D indie adventure. Pursue trophy wild trout while hiking through towering canyons, deep caverns, and lush forest. Choose the perfect fly, cast your line, and hang on for the bite, all in beautifully drawn pixel art.
I saw this and I instantly thought of Animal Crossing when you do any sort of fishing, the shadows in the water and everything like that. So yeah, I was just I love fishing in games. They just something
It's relaxing.
Yeah, it's something nice, but to have a game where it is only fishing, I would have to wonder what else is there? Is there like a lot of sort of exploring you can do, or maybe townspeople you can think of? But talk to. I don't know. But yeah, it does look beautiful. It does look beautiful. It's nice and relaxing.
It's definitely a throwback game because I feel like there were titles like in old PC games that were this, but
yeah.
As far as fishing games, some of the most popular games on Steam are fishing. Like what is it, that Russian or like Fishing in Russia game? Trying to think about it. Like, yeah, there's like this Fishing in Russia game that's one of the most popular games on Twitch. It's just crazy popular. I'm just like, I don't get it, but you guys have fun. It's just like a Euro Truck Simulator. I'm like, I do not get it, but you guys have fun. But yeah, it's
and this does have a demo.
It does.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is really nice to play them.
Yeah, especially at a so US it's $14.99 for the full game, but at least it has the demo.
Yeah.
If it didn't have that, I would have started going into, oh, this is too much. Especially for a game you don't know. Hey, if there's not more than just fishing, can this game hold its weight with just that? But if you get to try it out first, give it a whirl. See if it's for you.
Let me see. Yeah, they've got let me see. Explore far reaches of canyon, wet, dry, and streaming lines. You get to have a trophy album of all the different fish you've caught, and yeah, no in-app purchases or DLC. So
yeah, it's £11.39. So yeah, it's. I wonder how long it is. I'm seeing 6 hours by. But yeah, people put different times on there. So yeah, we're not sure.
Not sure, but it does have a demo to help you make your decision. So that's always cool.
I think I'll put this on my wish list, and at least I'll play the demo at least. See how.
All right. Our next title, and Akio mentions he fished a lot in Red Dead. You know what's funny? I have played so much in the way of fishing minigames in games that are not about fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, same.
Oh my gosh, I've played so much fishing games. Anyhow,
just something nice and relaxing while taking a break in between missions or something. Yeah.
Our next title is Knights and Bikes by Foam Sword Games.
Knights and Bikes is a sorry to jump you.
No, go ahead.
I've been a little terrible about that today. I blame it on the time.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. No, you talk.
No, you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Me? No.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Knights and Bikes is a hand-painted action adventure set on a British island in the 1980s. You'll play as Nessa and Demelza. I probably butchered that. Through imaginative girls exploring tough imaginative girls. I can read. Exploring the island in a Goonies-inspired tale and adventure that sees them pedaling into danger, seeking treasure, and ancient mysteries solve.
It looks so charming.
It's the looks are reminding me of Broken Age,
Yeah.
but then I see the publisher's Double Fine.
I played this at a convention.
Ooh.
Oh.
And
Go on.
I didn't have fun.
Oh.
No.
Oh no.
But I don't know if that was just like this section that they were showing to people, and they wanted to show the kind of like sort of combat elements to it. But yeah, it was like, yeah, it was just really clunky. But yeah, it's
It looks so cute.
But that was like a couple of years ago. So
Yeah.
I probably a lot has been improved. So there seems to be so much more elements to it as well. So, but yeah, I'm still not sure about this. I would like them to have had like a demo out for it for people to play the demo at least, to get a feel for it and see if it's something for them.
I do also know this is going on the PS4, so it's got some console releases as well. Oh yeah, PlayStation 4, PC, Mac, and Linux. Oh, Linux. But yeah, Foam Sword. Have they done? Nope. This is their first title on Steam, so it's really cool that they got published. Let me see. Any other? You can tend to your pet goose.
And the nice thing is it's 1 to 2 players, both online and local. So that's one thing that whenever I'm on here, I always kind of harp the most, is how many games have done just the couch co-ops anymore. So anytime I see where you can do both, I'm already a much happier camper.
Yeah. We're the same, because no real life friends.
I'm real in life. I'm your friend.
Apparently, the game teaches you how to properly make a scone. And the controls are very simple. So it's very like it's supposed to mostly rest on its narrative. Yeah, it's very simple. It rests on its narrative kind of thing. But yeah, and there's puzzles. There's a lot of puzzle stuff as well. So I guess there's not just combat. But yeah,
Yay,
Knights and Bikes.
Justin, welcome.
Justin, oh my gosh, hello. And he's posting little mices. Oh, that's Roadypie. That's your emote. Roadypie.
Good.
But yeah, that's £15.49.
Yeah, $19.99. So this is definitely a premium indie game. So
yeah,
as far as price point goes. With that, Tuesday, August 27th is our next day, and we have the game Minoria by R_Ardeen out of Japan, or Bomb Service.
Ink and blood stain the streets of Remzia. Witches must burn and sins must be judged. Venture forth as Sister Semilia to burn down the pillars of heresy in Minoria, an action platformer by Bomb Service, creators of Momodora.
So for the uninitiated, Momodora is a fairly long-running series of games. I believe they have 3 or 4 titles, and so this one is sort of an addition to that series. But yeah, it's kind of a spiritual successor, not necessarily a plotline successor. But yeah, this is made by a developer out of Japan, and he's just been doing a lot of games like this. So yeah.
I interesting art style. Art style. I quite like it, and the color scheme is, again, this sort of like gloomy art style, but it's still quite nice.
the background gets really repetitive
Mhm.
at times. Like everything on the foreground is actually really nice. Like whenever you see the leaves or if there's light, it looks good. But the background, super repetitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the backgrounds definitely they're there to seem to be there to set the mood, but not much more. It's this cool sort of side-scrolling battler. Are you talking to a slug? I guess you're talking to a slug at some point. But yeah, it's got this really. The one thing that impressed me was that the motion was so smooth. Everything is just so very smooth looking as far as the motions. It looks like it might be pretty fun, honestly.
Okay, kind of a reminder, at least the combat is, in my mind, a mixture of Dead Cells meets Nidhogg from the looks of it.
Dead Cells meets Nidhogg. That's kind of a neat combination.
Thank you.
You see.
I kind of stretched for that one.
All right, some negative ones is that it is kind of glitchy. Let me see. Highly recommended to wait for a patch before you grab this, unless you're a huge fan of developer. Or just like anime nuns. It's playable, but it's nowhere close to how polished RUTM was when I first played it. So I think RUTM was one of his previous games. Let me see, Bomb Service. Bomb Service made Disc Creatures, Devil Engine, The Witch's House, MV... Wait, Crosscode? Wait. No, this is Dengen. Dengen Entertainment's the publisher. I was like, no, he didn't make Crosscode. Okay, so he's published through them. All right. It always throws me off when the link for a developer goes instead to a publisher.
Yeah, to the publisher, yeah.
So I guess they're fully owned by the publisher, probably. But yeah.
Yeah, it's 10% off right now, so it's $13.94.
Yep.
I'm not sure how long it is.
$17.99 US. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of variants in the time people have played it, and a lot of the reviews are not in English. So so I am not entirely
someone
sure.
says a playthrough lasts for 5 to 7 hours. And
So
it has a tiny post-game bonus.
So that's probably why some people have 20 hours, because they're doing like the post-game stuff.
And a new game plus. Okay.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. A lot of Japanese games to go for that new game plus thing. I think they invented that, so it's a big thing. Anyhow, Minoria, check it out. The next title is MXGP 2019, our obligatory racing title.
Back to my old wheelhouse. Experience the excitement of the 2019 season for the first time in the series. Race in official MX team. Share your gaming experience with the community thanks to the track editor and the waypoint mode, and practice in the playground to learn to ride like a real pro.
This is by Milestone developers. They are located in Milan, Italy. And they have a ton of titles under the belt, which some are mixed, some are positive. They pump out games very regularly, so I do believe they have a pretty large team, and they seem to do really well in Europe in particular. So but yeah.
Looks like a very basic racer. It doesn't show you lines to try to stay across. Like you've been seeing in more traditional, where they're trying to be more simulation than arcade, which this doesn't feel like it's trying to be arcadey, where normally they'll give you kind of like the little lines to follow, like the color one to tell you to, like, hey, you're coming into this corner, you might want to swing wide out here, but you're coming in too hot. This, I'm not seeing that. I see split times pop up on occasion, which is nice. The crowd, the side work actually isn't too bad. It's not just a copy and pasted texture, or like they're not all raising their hands in excitement at the exact same time. There's actual differential in the background. It looks like they didn't have issues with like licensing, where they had to kind of like fake, like change the name of Red Bull to like a Blue Bull, or Monster to something else that's close to Monster. So it looks like licenses were intact. The bikes look good. They look like actual honest to goodness bikes. I kind of want to see more about that track editor because that actually sounds kind of
Yeah,
fun.
that definitely caught my eye. Oh, they're mostly positive with 70%. On the other page, it shows them at 69, but they're the and being like mixed, or 67 with mixed. So it's Steam's weird that all their places where they showed reviews don't seem to update at the same time. No. But yeah, it's this actually looks pretty fun, though it will cost you $49.99 US.
Yeah, $39.99 here.
So they are an independent studio, but they're very much a premium independent studio. So milestone.
Yeah, I wish they would say how many tracks that they had in the game, like the changing weather, dynamic weather, which is always nice, which changes up the track. That I'm a fan of, but it's 10,000 customizable items. But I want to see how many like actual tracks they have, on more of like the play modes.
Yeah,
that's all lacking big time. But luckily, single multiplayer, online multiplayer is there, which you would expect from a game like this. But that is a steep price point. You better be into motocross Grand Prix.
Yes.
For the $49.99.
Oh yeah. And yeah, so I might actually check this one out. I've kind of a sucker for motocross games. Though I don't actually own any on Steam yet. I've mostly been playing on other people's consoles. But I do like them. But yeah, hopefully it's another new game out of Milestone if you're a fan of the studio. Our next title is From Orbit by Tentacle Head, which is located in Vancouver, British Columbia.
From Orbit is a quick and light single-player action RTS. Guide your stranded crew home as they land on alien planets, scout out the area, build defenses, harvest valuable resources, and launch back into orbit before being overwhelmed by hostile aliens.
So another one of these sort of real-time strategy games. So
yeah,
kind of a RTS. It's reminding me of Pikmin in that sense of you only have so long to get off the planet.
There's certain things I do like about it, but at the same time I feel like there's not a lot there's not very much interesting things in the environment. You know what I mean? They seem to be quite plain.
And that hex thing on the ground, and it's just
yeah, but other than the hex things, I mean, everything else, it seems very sort of deserted or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like a lot of items to be grabbing. Like there's a lot of empty space.
Yeah, lots of empty space. Yeah.
Because like the hexes for like movement and stuff like that in RTS, I get for like a strategy side of it, where like here is a clear and concise movement system. I could happily forgive it if there was more going on.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a cream puff RTS, which is a little small thing where you jump in, play a little bit, and it's just short. It seems like a pretty limited experience, honestly, which is unusual for RTS. RTSs are often like really
grandiose,
grandiose.
Yeah. So it's 15% off right now, so it's £9.68.
Yeah, $12.74 US. Tentacle Head. This is their first title on Steam. But they did get that nice Steam page up, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's actually always helpful. And if it's true quick and light, because RTSs can be super heavy, super hard for someone to get into. This might not actually be a bad starter for someone to try to get into that type of game or see if they like it, because the price point isn't terrible. And I know it's light on stuff, but that also means you may not have to focus on as much. So it could actually be a good entry point into the genre.
Yeah.
They only have 4 unit types as well. So so it's permadeath, procedurally generated, pick up and play, and a variety of planetary environments. But they seem to basically be recolors. I don't know how much mechanical difference there are between the different environments. All right.
Yeah.
So...
I agree with Tom. It's like, something to pick up if you're maybe not so sure about RTSs and you want to give one a go. Although I would have put it at a smaller price point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's something quick to pick up. Yeah.
Yes, you're a casual, Justin.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, but I was doing it in a politer way. But filthy casual, man.
All right, next title is Smith and Winston.
Ooh, out of London, England. Execution Unit. Smith and Winston is a humorous exploration action shooter. When a strange signal is detected in a deep space, the Federation orders Smith and Winston to go and investigate. What they find after a brief nap is a shattered ring world, aliens, and an evil overlord called the Void.
So this thing, you do have an AI that's with you that's just constantly sassy. So you got a sassy AI that's telling you how bad you are at the game. So that sounds fun. 2-player couch co-op, humor storyline, twin stick combat, sort of Minecrafty or like the voxel artwork.
I like it for something unique, like 3D pixel art.
Yep. It's not. We see a lot of 3D pixel art. At the very least, this one has a different look. Also, there's some 3D where you can jump from one platform to another, so it's not just top down. Like there is this sort of 3D platforming that's going on as well. So that looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I like the little platforms and everything, and it looks interesting. Interesting enough. There's not something I'd personally pick up.
Mm-hmm.
It is $15.49. I'm not sure how long it is, but I suppose if you're, it's co-op, which I quite like as well. I quite like that it's co-op. So doing something that's more PvP.
I don't like the price point without knowing how long it might be. If I know I would get a good chunk of time, I would say, oh yeah, I would actually add this to my wish list and put it on there. Even though I'm curious if they are fans of guns because of how close to the Smith and Wesson, but Smith and Winston instead.
Maybe there might be a lot of different varieties.
I'm curious. I'm curious if that's what they were going for in a sense, or if this was just a happy accident. But it looks cute and it looks fun. At times, there's one where it looks like you're kind of hovering above the ground into a fight on one of the screenshots on the little carousel, and it is almost so busy at times where spots look a bit muddy. Of okay, I'm starting to lose where the character's at, what's going on. Almost too much going on. But
yeah.
Oh, this is
fun.
This is our third game out of the UK this week. So wow, and there are 2 more UK games coming up. Wow, it's been a lot. Anyhow, so yeah, Smith and Winston. Next, and this is their first title also. So our next title is Whipseey and the Lost Atlas.
Jump and whip your way through this epic adventure to help Whipseey solve the adventure of the Lost Atlas in this retro-inspired action platformer. This is retextured, slightly different Kirby.
Kind of, yeah. There is the whip mechanic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely has that Kirby aesthetic for sure. This is developed by Daniel A. Ramirez, who I think is based out of Australia. The publisher is Australian, and from what I could look up about him, I think he's in Australia, but I'm not sure. This is also going on to the onto consoles such as the PS4. So,
okay.
It looks super fun.
Looks super cute as well.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of early Pokemon kind of look to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I love this art.
Yeah.
It's just very cute and nice, and it's like, oh, this is a game for the kiddo. But I would still be playing it because it's super cute.
And the entry point is $5.99 US.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No,
I'm not gonna complain about that. It's less than a latte.
Yeah, $4.99 UK. But yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know how long it is though, but I'm seeing around 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours, yeah. Daniel, thank you for sending your game out. It's the first one, Whipseey. I think he's clearly a Kirby fan.
Oh, he has to be.
My word.
Like looking at all of the enemies, and it wasn't just seeing Whipseey himself.
Mhm.
It was the enemies that are like, oh yeah, you kind of remind me of like the Waddle Dees.
Everyone's blobs.
Yup. And then of course the pink main character.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's so cute. Anyhow, it's so cute. Okay. And with that, that's the end of our Tuesday, August 27th games. Well, there was a lot. Next is Wednesday, August 28th. And we're going to start with a multiplayer game because we need that 4-player multiplayer title every week. And this week it is Hookbots. This is by Tree Games out of San Jose, Costa Rica.
Battle and challenge your human friends on this multiplayer. I feel like I need to go more robot party game. 52 ways to customize your bots and 14 game modes. From knights and dinosaurs to bounty hunters and space warriors. Choose, customize, and crush tons of different bots.
It looks really nice. Really fluid animations.
It really does.
I'm getting the kind of Raymond aesthetic, even though they do have arms. Like, it just feels like the 3D art reminds me of Raymond, which is not a bad thing.
No, not in the slightest. I see exactly what you mean.
It seems
Like
that...
go ahead.
It seems the primary mechanic is the sort of grapple hook kind of thing, where you're just pulling yourself up and down, pulling other people to you. That seems to be the primary mechanic. Yeah, you were saying.
So I saw like one of the splash screens, like the insta kill hook buggy versus the 20 team Sir Lance spots. Like, okay, that's straight Smash Brothers.
Yes.
But
yes.
At the same time, there's only so much you can do with like this versus this, and not look like you're ripping off something else.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot you do. I mean, Smash Brothers ripped off other people. But yeah, 52 ways to customize bots, 14 game modes. So let me see. Hold the flag, racing, climbing, robo-bomb, volley hook, basketball, hook ball, big boss, coin collector, color rings, kill teams. This is a really solid PvP game. This is really fleshed out.
Yeah. You know how I feel about PvP games, so this isn't this won't be one I'll be picking up. But yeah, it looks super polished and lots of fun.
I wish there was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was only gonna say is and you're probably about to say it. I wish this had online.
Does it have on? Does it not have online?
It is local.
Oh no! It's only local.
It is a local because I was like, oh man, I wonder how many one like battle with some of those modes, because it sounds like it's like, oh man, this would be like crazy with like 16, like anywhere from like 8 to 16 people. It would be ridiculous. But then all of a sudden I saw the local. I'm like, oh, I bet this is 4 only. Ooh.
Local only. That's unfortunate. I kind of wish that there's like this group of 4 friends that IRL friends that one of them watches the show, so every week we give them another 4-player game, because that's basically what we're doing. I feel like that's another list we need to make, is the 4-player couch co-op type games. So gotta make a list.
You would need 4 people instead of 3 for that though.
Yeah, 4 people. Yep. We would, but all right. So that's another list I want to do a roundup of, along with raccoon protagonists.
Yes.
Yeah, mouse protagonists. There's so many. All right. So, and that is $14.99. by Tree Interactive. Have they done anything else? Nope, this is their first title, but they do have a really nice splash page.
Yes, 11:39 here.
All right. The next title is Din's Legacy. This is by a developer, a long-time developer out of Dallas, Texas, Soldak Entertainment. Yeah.
Din's Legacy is an action RPG with mutating characters set in a dynamic, evolving fantasy world for Windows, Mac, and Linux.
So this dev, he doesn't make really pretty games.
No.
As you can probably tell, this one's not very pretty, but he's so incredibly prolific. So he's got Din's Legacy, Zombicide, Drox Operative, Din's Curse, Depths of Peril, all the way back to 2008. So this dev has been going and going and going for a very long time. Oh, and it's a small dev, but I don't think it's just one person's. But yeah, they've been keep going for a long time. So I kind of appreciate the old crunchy look, but it does seem like it is really polished.
I also wish they didn't copy and paste their little thumbnail description, because of course Din's Legacy is an action RPG with mutating characters set in a dynamic, evolving fantasy world. Zombicide is a zombie apocalypse action RPG set in a dynamic, evolving fantasy world.
Oh no.
For Windows, Mac, and Linux.
The thing is, it's like, okay, this is supposed to be like a prolific developer, but if they've been in the industry so long, you think that you'd want to improve on certain things, and like graphically and artistically.
This looks as kind of rough as the original Diablo.
Yeah. I do kind of often see that though with a lot of like more long-term devs. Their newer titles seem to evoke back to not really cutting edge graphics. So it's not an absolute, but it is something that I see a lot with a lot of like longer term indie devs. Justin, we gotta be careful about our words about original Diablo.
I wasn't pooping on the original Diablo. I was pooping on this game for looking like a game that was out how many years. That's what I was going for. Original Diablo is a good game.
The thing is, it doesn't have to be like cutting edge graphic, but at least don't keep using the same engine. Keep try and get some new artists in, or just freshen it up.
Definitely, he could probably get some more. They could probably get some more developer, some more sales had they, polished it up and made it look a lot prettier. But as an ARPG fan, I don't know. I don't really care about the looks that much. It's like, is the combat smooth?
Yeah.
But that's ARPG fans. That's pretty specific to ARPG fans, not really caring that much about looks. But because a lot of us ARPG fans, they haven't got made in good recent ones, so we're still playing like Torchlight 1 and Diablo 1. So I mean, with this like kind of looking like Diablo 1, I was like, ooh, this looks nice, even though it's not terribly pretty.
Oh, thank you, Justin. Thanks for this super chat.
Oh,
thank you, Justin.
He's collecting us. Thank you.
Yay!
But yeah, so this is $17.99. With being an ARPG, it's probably long, so it's mostly seems to be if you like the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's 10% off right now. $13.94 in the UK.
This is going on my wish list.
No judging, my friend. No judging.
Yeah.
No dodging the judging the weird thumbnail either. It's fine.
So I'm with you, Rody. The second I clicked into it, I was like,
yeah.
This looks like 1998. But that's kind of like what charmed me.
I thought it was like a bad. Looking at the thumbnail, I thought it was a bad hidden object game.
Oh yeah, it does have that hidden object mobile game kind of look to it, doesn't it?
I would have expected that to be on Roadie's list of horrors with the thumbnail. Hey, remember how I said I wasn't judging you for it?
Yeah.
No judgment.
Our next title is Wayward Souls by Rocket Cat Games. So the cool thing about Rocket Cat Games, before you read the little pitch, is they are 3 developers who have never met in person. They are located in Washington, Arizona, and Michigan. But yeah,
that's cool. All right, going into the pitch, Wayward Souls is a randomly generated action RPG with a heavy focus on story. Play as 7 different heroes, all with their own sets of abilities. Fight through steadily greater hordes of enemies. I'm getting a little bit of Enter the Gungeon vibes on the art on this one.
It's a true action RPG. It's not like it's not the sort of like 8 directions, very rigid. Like it looks like it should be really rigid, but then it's got, I don't know, the movement feels more fluid. Maybe it is just 8 directions, but it still seems very fluid, even with the very pixel art aesthetic.
Ooh, there is an important thing in the about. Over 100 different monster types, over 300 hats. Important!
Oh, 300
yes,
hats.
300
now
hats.
I'm sold.
Yeah, I mean, hats, that's game development 101. Like, make hats.
Thank you, TF2. Thank you.
So there's 4 characters, but then you can unlock 4 additional characters as you play.
And unlockable game modes as well, which is cool, including endless mode.
And every character has their own story, so they each have their own sort of story ending.
I really like that. I really like that. You know, someone who really appreciates narratives and everything.
Co-op? Is it co-op? No, this is only single player.
That's kind of a bummer, like especially when you have like a rogue, a warrior, mage. It feels like, hey, we should be teaming up. But
it's on my wish list already.
it's going on mine.
Yeah.
It's 11.39. Not going on mine, but I definitely know people I can recommend it to.
$14.99 US, and these guys also developed Death Road to Canada.
Oh.
So I think we didn't talk about this one, but I've known about this one. People talk about it. Wait, are you playing a pug? Wait, the pug just picked up a gun? What is this? I didn't know that it was involved in that. But yeah, Death Road Canada. So yeah.
That's great, the dog fan.
Pug. Well, that's another list we need to make. Games featuring pugs. That's another list we need to make. Anyhow, so yeah, it's not their first game. This is their second title, but yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. On my wish list. Next title is Headspun. This is by Superstring Limited out of London, England.
Headspun is a FMV adventure hybrid set in Cortex, the world of Theo Kavinsky's Broken Brain. Game about recovery, discovery, and the ongoing battle between logic and emotion.
This has been on my wish list for quite a while now. So yeah, it's obviously, you know, it being an FMV game, but after waking from a 5-week coma, Theo finds his life in disrepair and with no memory of the accident. It's up to Ted and Teddy, the conscious and subconscious voices in his head, to work out what happened and put his life back on track. So the 2 people in the brain are going around repairing things, and each time you repair something, that unlocks different memories and everything. So you got to try. It helps you work out what happened and how you ended up the way you are. So yeah, it's interesting. There's point and click elements to it, as well as this great FMV element to it as well.
I don't know if this was started development before or after, but I feel like it's, you know, kind of inspired by Inside. Inside, who is it? No, that movie about all the little emotions inside the girls. Inside Out, yes. Inside Out, yes. yeah, I feel like it's kind of inspired by that if the development started after that. But it's neat concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course this is Wales Interactive, which have like a lot of great F&V games. So yeah, do check out their list. But this is 10% off right now at $8.99.
It does have sort of mixed reviews at the moment. So I don't know, maybe mileage will vary, but it all depends on how the story is presented. So you kind of have to experience it.
I think the main problem people have with is bugs. So this needs to have a good bug fix first. So I wouldn't get it just yet. Wait for maybe a couple patches.
Let me see. Have they been patching it? No. The last patch is the release, but hopefully there will be a patch incoming.
Yeah, it only came out on August 28th. So hopefully this week they'll do a patch.
Alrighty, and of course a reminder that with games, it's they're kind of always in development nowadays. So if you didn't like it at one state, you might like it at a future state. Anyhow, for better for worse, that's how the game industry is now.
It's our No Man's Sky shout out of the week.
Justin, flattery will get you nowhere. It'll get you somewhere, but
Oh, thank you, Justin.
Thursday, August 29th, we have the title Heave Ho.
Oh, I've seen gameplay of this. This looks stupidly fun. Heave Ho tasked up to 4 players with a simple goal. Don't fall to your death. Players will use their own 2 hands and the outstretched grip of their friends to grapple across each level on their way to victory. Seasonal allergies are kind of kicking me over here right now. This is a couch co-op game where the controls are kind of ridiculous. You use left and right trigger to hold on to each hand, and then you're kind of swinging back and forth. So you kind of forget exactly where you are. You can fling people to different sides. If you fall out of the world, instead of just falling out, they will spray the color of your character out places, so your friends could be covered in your former guts and blood. It just looks stupid. Maybe friendship ending or friendship building fun. I only saw the pure 4-player. There was, I believe, a single or a duo mode as well, but I saw a 4-player playthrough of this, and it just looked fun.
Yeah, this is by La Cartel Studio out of Paris, France, and they're published by Devolver Digital. Those wonderful people. Devolver Digital.
I think we had sort of like covered this before, like when Devolver Digital had their list of games of what's coming out. So I think this was one that we did cover. So
yeah, I didn't remember if we had talked about it or not, but yeah, I do remember seeing it in the release. Yeah, their expected releases. Yep.
Yeah. It looks fun. It looks super fun. I love
the demo, but still, it's couch co-op only. No distance.
Yeah, I feel like being able to turn around and like hit the person next to you is important to this game. It's like no.
Yeah. There is a you can press the A button in this game. So if someone's like holding on to you or near you, you can press A, which will launch them away from you. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is, you could be such a dick to your friends.
You need voice chat for this game, absolutely, at the very least.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, this 10% off right now, and
it is $8.99 US. Right. All right. So our next title is Agent A: A Puzzle in Disguise. And Ruby LaRouge, that is what I think you've sort of cosplayed as today. The villain. But yeah.
A suave secret agent adventure game. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to infiltrate enemy spy Ruby LaRouge's secret hideaway and put a stop to her evil plans.
I already had this on my wish list. I was following this.
Oh, darn it. I hope we'd have found something. Okay, cool.
But yeah, this, looks like a fantastic puzzle game, and of course it's got that spy element to it. So yeah, I'm very, very interested in it. As long as it doesn't have sneaky bits to it, I'll be fine. Stick to the puzzle and point and click elements, and yeah, this is a winner for me.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like it has like dynamic stealth elements to it. I don't think. I think it's mostly just you're in a puzzle room and you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm always a sucker for spy games, especially after that one where you had to make people tiny.
Oh yeah.
I love the daylights out of that one. So the second I saw how this looked and felt, I love puzzle games anyway. Like I know Rody was talking about the Room 3. I've played the Room 1 and 2, but I never touched 3. Like I love puzzly escape room-esque type games. So this is on my wish list.
Yeah, and I just put this on my wish list. I've got to try this out. This looks just too fun.
Yeah, I love that sort of like there's like old cartoons from like the
90s or 2000s.
No, then the like 1930s and
really old cartoons.
Yeah. It's got that sort of
Secret Squirrel, Morocco Mole.
Yeah, those kind of things. But I see like sort of
Rocky and Bullwinkle
infomercials about the highway and stuff like that. So, taking your family on a highway.
Bugs Bunny. Yeah, it does have that sort of look to it. That is nice. Yeah. They dove into the retro, and that is cool. This is by Yak and Company, and they're out of Melbourne, Australia.
Wow, this is quite robust actually. There's 35 unique 100 inventory-based puzzles, 50 puzzle screens, 30 achievements to collect for the trophy hunter in all of us.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And it is not all the same puzzle, so that's cool. They don't take one gimmick and do it over and over again. It's a lot of different puzzles. That is cool. But yeah, Yak & Co.'s first title, I think, is going to be a raving success, because this looks amazing. At least it should be. It should be a raving success.
Yeah.
Our next title is Wilmot's Warehouse.
Come on, me. I gotta learn how to spell.
Yeah, it is by Hollow Ponds and Richard Hogg from London, England.
Wilmot's Warehouse is a puzzle game about keeping a warehouse running in tip-top shape. Just remember where you put everything, because when the service hatch opens, you'll need to find the things people want quickly in order to earn the coveted performance stars.
This is so it's for people who like to organize things. So you've got your stock, and you've got to make sure that you've put everything sort of in its right place, so you can when people put their orders in, they can pick these up very quickly, or you can pick these up very quickly and deliver them. So it kind of appeals to me, because I do like that kind of doing that sort of organizing sort of thing. Everything in its right place. When that's not what my life actually looks like. So, but I don't like it that it's on a timer.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just more sort of like a relaxing mode, then yeah, I would have. I think I would have picked this up, no problem.
Visually, I'm going cross-eyed looking at this. It's just, it's off at times. It's very off-putting. Like very just. a throw up mix of colors and everything. And I know it distinguishes everything very differently in a very nice way, in like a very good way, because you need to know what every different little thing is. But man, is this bugging me. It just like, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna look at this game, and no offense to them, it's just not for me.
It looks really complex, and this would give me anxiety. This game would give me so much anxiety. My brother, though, I think he would love this. Because my brother, everything is alphabetized and sorted. Everything. It is like whenever I've gone over to visit him, it is like it's like coming into a department store. His room, his house, everything. It's like a department store. Everything has its place. And I'm like, I don't know how you're ever gonna get married, because this is gonna be like a constant issue unless you find someone else who has the same like way of thinking.
I like to organize. I like to organize by color, where I like to organize alphabetically.
Oh
my
no,
God.
it would be
Divorce
civil
papers.
war. Either that, or they're gonna like, okay, it's color alphabetically.
And this is multiplayer as well. So there's multiplayer, local multiplayer, co-op, local co-op. So yeah.
Dwarf Fortress. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of that in a way, I guess. Just a bit more pleasing to look at. But yeah, Justin says, ooh, this word looks like work. Yes, this is a work game. That's what this is.
Work.
It's £11.39.
Yep, $14.99 US. And with that, we are on to our final day of the release list. Friday, August 30th, our final game. Yeah.
Wow.
Decay of Logos.
Immerse yourself in the world of Decay of Logos and unravel its mysteries. Explore old dungeons, battle unforgiving foes, and journey through a vibrant, interconnected fantasy realm with your mystical elf companion named Leroy. The Leroy part's not in there, but I just wanted to name him Leroy.
Yeah, your elk companion. So this has mixed reviews at 44% right now.
Wow.
Which is unfortunate. It's by Amplify Creates from Portugal. And a lot of the complaints I've seen is bugs and control scheme. So,
are they rebindable?
Let me see. But one thing's for sure, it's got a massive amount of problems. The combat is truly awful for one. It's unbearably slow and clunky, and enemies often move faster than your character. Yeah, so there's of course positive reviews. There's people who really do enjoy it, but even the folks that do enjoy it, I think they are bringing up issues with it. So
that's such a shame, because it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, and you cannot rebind. There's only some controllers that are allowed, but Steam input is currently not supported. Oh.
Oof.
And then no keyboard key bindings are currently there. They're adding them in future patches. This feels like this should have been a early release, like early access,
or it stayed in early access. My word. Yeah, and it's really unfortunate, because this has, like, aesthetically, this is like one of the most striking games on the list this week.
Yeah.
But it hurts me.
Oh.
Dewey, look away, Dewey.
Yeah, Amplify Creations is their first title as well, and they're going to have to keep. They're going to need to update this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's on the Xbox One too.
Is that a thing where you kick your elk?
So
I'm looking at a screenshot, and it's probably meant to, like, a slight kick to get you to go faster. But because it's got like the stress meter and whatnot, which I'm assuming is for the elk.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, I think you gotta kick the problem.
The fact that it says kick.
They could probably like use a different, more euphonic term.
And like granted, they're out of Portugal the translation a little bit.
Or maybe you prompt your elk to kick. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I started real high on this game when I first saw it, and then little by little, because
Yeah.
like I see like an onion with teeth trying to attack you,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my
Oh
god,
my
yay,
gosh, that thing is horrifying.
oh god, yeah. Like
Ooh.
the individually lined teeth, and it's like, oh man, this game has so much promise.
Yeah, a lot of work went into this, and it's a shame that it's being held back by bugs.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing because it's coming. It's on PS4, Switch, and Xbox One, and of course Steam. So
Yeah, so it had to have gone through. It had to have gone through certification. So that's unfortunate.
And it's got Rising Star Publisher games as well. You know what I mean? So it's such a weird thing that's not been more vigorously tested.
No kidding. Or at least just leave the early access on it for a little while.
Yeah. It's £15.49.
Yeah, you know what game has problems when all the reviews are a mile long? It's not just like, oh, great game. It's like, great game, but they have to go on and explain why they're still recommending it. Oof. Oh, it's so unfortunate. Anyhow, decay of logos.
Oh no. I see what's next, guys. I have to go. My stomach. Yep. There. Yep.
Like, really?
No.
Oh,
no. I just saw
okay.
what was next on the list. Like,
Oh,
no.
All right. Yes. Oh, yes. So now that we're done with the release list, that is it. Oh, Decay of Logos, you're so beautiful. But we have a Roadie's list of horrors just to wrap us up.
Just to to give you something to think about.
Yeah, the games that we skipped on the list.
But here's the first morsel for you.
They'll find you. Oh boy. What am I looking at? It's all so dark.
And the worst thing is the sound. There's like these whispers going on, and it's like, they'll find you. That's constant. It's constant throughout the thing.
This is unsettling.
Yeah, it just looks terrible. And they're charging $3.99 for it.
$4.99 here in the US.
Oh, that's so creepy. I feel like this is something that someone would do a LOL stream with. Like just...
Hey, Za, are you still there? This is a you game, buddy.
Really?
Za would play this in a heartbeat. This is very like meme game for him. Actually,
oh my word!
I'm gonna send this to him.
Oh my word! The 3D texturing. Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, there's that to get us started, and
I'm trying to think of something positive to say. So, it's got an aesthetic. It has an aesthetic. More than I can say for a lot of these games. It has an aesthetic.
It doesn't have a negative review. I'll give it that.
It has no reviews.
Yeah, I was leaving that part out.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a negative review. So Teddy Banker,
yeah.
Developer.
So it just says, yeah, I choose a latte. Yeah.
I choose a latte. Yes. Right, next title.
This next title called Madland.
Madland. So not Mad Lad. Madland.
Ooh, $16. Oh boy.
16. Oh, they have a plane sequence.
£12.39.
Is that a comic book Thor as a light source?
Doesn't seem to extinguish.
What the stuff?
The UI though. Oh. What is? Oof. Ooh. This is like 1991 PC. Ooh.
It's
Except the higher fidelity makes it look worse.
Oh. The second like they grab the gun and start going with that, it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, at least the Thor torch didn't look that. Okay, it still looks awful.
It still looks awful. It still looks pretty awful.
It's $16.
This is Metal Source Studios, their first title.
Yeah, it's $12.39 in the UK, so it's just like what?
What we can say so far about these two games, they're both games. They are both games. They qualify.
And they don't have negative reviews.
Yeah, they have no reviews. But yes.
Yes, yeah, very, very low frames as well. Yeah, be the theme with these. So then the next one and final one,
Oh no.
MMA Executive.
Whoa.
Oh, is this one of these sim games?
It is.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, he's like a plastic doll.
Yeah, this one, the characters they seem to be super shiny.
Complex and detailed fighting.
Ew. Ew, I'm so unsettled.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you know, this is 10% off right now, and it's $17.99.
$17.99.
It's $24.99, but on sale for $22.49.
So I also like how they're using the white and red titles, so it makes them look like they're the WWF. Like they're using the same colors as the logo of the WWF, so maybe they can get some trick purchases. But my word. Oof.
Yeah, so someone said, I was skeptical before buying another MMA sim, but I'm happy I took this one. It has many different aspects that's really cool. Betting on fights, prodigy training. There are, of course, things that could be implemented in the future to make it even better, but they did a very good job with this one. Okay.
So was that their mother reviewing it? Like, you have to be nice?
The one negative review is unfortunately in Russian, so Slabaya igranie I can't read, that's a too long a word. But Slabaya is, I think, just like a bad game, Igra is game, I know that much. I need to learn more Russian because there's a lot of. Oh my gosh! What the hell?
Like they have like a button thing that looks like they just built it, took a screenshot of something from a 1999 PowerPoint.
Well, the Russian from what Google translates. So anyway, weak game does not live up to hope. The financial system causes nonsense, and the game mode wants the best. I thought it was something like WMMA. It turned out some kind of crap.
Thank you, Russian reviewer.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Google Translate. Yes. My
So
Lord.
I'm afraid this is the worst of the list because it does have a negative review, unlike our other two.
Oh yeah, where's the list? And honestly, like I would buy the other two before this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm so unsettled.
Oh, yeah.
The worst part is if the mechanics would actually work, because like football sim and like I like the out of the park baseball management simulator where you don't really care about graphics too much. It's all about like the numbers and crunching and stuff like that. If that part of this worked, I could probably get past a few part of this, but it doesn't sound like even that works well.
Yeah.
And I really still can't get past the look of this.
Ugh.
You know, it's so bad.
All right. Let's go to the best of the list. What does everyone think? So for each of you, starting with RadioTom, what was your favorite game on the list?
I really liked the no time to relax. I'm a board game guy.
Mhm.
Through and through, so that already kind of reached out and spoke to me. Jera, of course the student game was gorgeous. And I'm kind of in a toss up between probably No Time to Relax and then Smith and Winston
Yeah.
are actually probably the two that I ended up liking the most, just because I like the style of Smith and Winston. It looked fun, it looked unique, but of course the No Time to Relax speaks to my board gamer side, and it had a very unique look and vibe to it. So
Yeah.
and then shout out to Whipseey.
Okay, shout out to Whipseey. All right. I was gonna say that you peaked early when you said like No Time to Relax and Jera, and then it was just all downhill from there, eh?
At least Smith and Winston and Whipseey were a little bit later.
Alrighty. What about you, Rody? What's your best of the list?
Right. So, Agent A,
Mhm.
definitely. I definitely want to pick that up. And I want to pick up Headspun, but I'm gonna wait
Mhm.
until they put in at least a couple of patches. And I think No Time to Relax. That looks super fun, and of course from our mention. So they're the ones that are really.
Oh, I'm sorry. You cut out. You cut out with the last one.
Oh, sorry. Telling Lies.
Oh, Telling Lies. Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 Mm.
Expect a Tom and Rody stream at some point for
Yeah.
one. We have to play that together. Oh my goodness. The No Time to Relax. This is happening.
Yes.
Yep.
You know what? For me, being the MMO junkie I am, probably Steambirds Alliance was definitely one of my top. Another one is probably Redo. That game just looked so incredibly stunning, and
I'm sorry. What was the name of the game?
Redo.
No, you're not saying that right.
Redo.
There you go.
Yeah, I gotta yell it because it's all in caps.
With an
Yeah.
exclamation point. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have to pronounce that correctly. Sir.
Okay. There you go. But this game, I have to check it out. And last one, there was that ARPG. What was that one? Where is it?
Was it the Dins?
No,
Din's
no,
Legacy.
not Din's Legacy. It was the pixel art one. Wayward Souls. Wayward Souls is on my wish list as well.
There's a lot of good games. It was hard figuring just one game for the best of the list because there was actually quite a few good ones on here this week, which was kind of sad. We kind of had to rush through a little bit with how many that there were, but when there are that many, you gotta expect there are going to be several that are probably pretty darn good.
Yeah. Tuesday, just on Tuesday alone, we had 5 games on Tuesday, August 27th, which,
And then 6
Minoria
on Friday.
from Orbit, Smith and Winston, Whipseey, Oof.
Yeah, 23rd you had 6.
Yeah, 23rd, Strength in the Sword. Oh, that was really good too, and Plunge. There's so many games, and I might go through here again and add a bunch of them to my wish list. Yeah, there's so many great games came out this week. It was awesome, but the one on the screen looks pretty good. Yes, this is Wayward Souls, Godless Weeb. It's from Rocket Cat Games. They made Death Road Canada, which was pretty well known. But yeah, so with that, let's just get to the shameless plugging part of the show. RadioTom, tell the internet about you.
I'm still trapped in this box. I haven't figured out how to get out of here since the last podcast. So
I've been feeding
still...
him. Don't worry.
Clearly you have. I can't show the gut right now, but I am down 17 pounds. I found that out this morning. I was happy with that. Thank you. And congratulations to you too, Dewey. I know you've been working so hard and you were so today, so I'm proud of you. We did the big charity stream last night, which was an absolute blast. Stream's a little bit still on hiatus as mom's going in for surgery on to Tuesday. But you can follow me over at TheRadioTom on Twitch. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRadioTom1. You can find me in random discords. I chat way too much about random things.
And
please go and support RadioTom. You know, his mum's going in for surgery, and they
American
every
healthcare
little
system
bit
is
helps.
terrible. Yeah,
every little bit helps. But also, are you going to be doing your podcast regularly? 'Cause you did a.
It is. We did the Clubhouse podcast. We're gonna do that once a month. Eventually we want to do twice a month, but with mom's surgery this month, and then next month I've got Pumpkin Stream Palooza coming around.
Ah, yes.
That's right around the corner, which is blowing my mind as we just hit September. I'm like, oh man, that's about a month away. So yeah, so we're thinking maybe November we'll do 2 in a month.
Okay, that's cool.
Nice.
Keep it fresh and all that, but
yeah,
for now, once a month.
Yeah.
Nice.
And thank you to everyone who's been checking out the RadioTom stream. Wow, I'm bad. The RadioTom, and just helping him out. He's almost hit the goal with that, and it's at the point where you guys are gonna make it. That's awesome. So
so once again, thank you so much for that. We were right around the $600 mark of the $1,000 we needed to try to come up for Tuesday, because as I know I was telling them and I was telling on my stream last night, Thursday we got told that we needed $1,000 down on Tuesday, where we originally thought it was just 100, so mom can get her cataract surgery done. And I was like, you're telling us that in 5 days? And if it wasn't for a trip to urgent care earlier in the month, I could have hit savings out of that, but no, I had to go pay that bill. So we did a big old stream last night. The donation links are still up in the panels down below. I can use my words.
Yeah.
You can tell it was up late last night. We made it till about 4 a.m. yesterday because we kept adding on 30 minutes for every $50 that came in. So I went till 4 in the morning.
Oh, you're sleep deprived right now.
If you could tell, I was a little off today. It was a little bit of sleep deprivation. I still powered it through because I love your faces.
Thank you.
Seeing your beautiful shiny, well, not shiny because I know Dewey's worried about shiny.
So
beautiful
shiny.
faces. You're not that shiny. Good grief. I've got like a glow right here. But seeing your beautiful smiling faces helped bring me through. And everyone in chat, thank you for coming out, hanging out, supporting this stream release podcast. It is my favorite podcast, hands down. Even more than the one I just started. I don't like that nearly as much as this.
Well, it's kind of hard to like something that you're making until you feel like it's at a good point. It's tough. Like even I'm like,
you two
all the time.
Everyone, I wish could see how much work you two put into this podcast. Like I just showed up and saw a list and went through quick. You two curate this list. You put it all together. You take the time, the energy to give people these indie devs this platform. So thank you both for all of the hard work you do. You two are definitely unsung heroes, hands down. So I love you both to pieces.
I hope everyone in chat was able to find a title that they were going to check out as well. So, Rody, what about you? What's your plans this next week?
Oh my god, I do need to get back into streaming. Because there's although my Steam list hasn't gotten any bigger, I still do need to reduce it some more. So yeah, I want to get back on that. Get back on that and reducing my Steam list and playing those games through right to the end.
Fortunately, there's all this outdoor weather right now.
I know, and it's been so hot, so it's not such great weather for wigs, really, for wig wearing. But I think that along with getting back into 11, which is like one of those games that you play. It's a job, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like another job. So yeah, it's the motivation is, and my energy levels are just like non-existent. But yeah, I hopefully I'll maybe in the next couple of weeks I'll be back to trying to stream again. But
with no time to relax with me.
Yes,
I'm going to keep hounding that till that happens.
I probably will. I think it's like not motivation for myself.
Oh, you're cutting out.
Yeah. So that's like, you know, motivation for me to like go, oh yeah, no, I'll
Yep.
responsibility for someone else, I think. So yeah.
Yeah. And well, as far as me, we are I'll be uploading this on YouTube as soon as possible after the show. And with that, I just want to say to everyone, thank you so much for showing up and chatting and hanging out. We love all of you, and we hope you got some really cool Steam releases out of this, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah,
and
that said,
everyone watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in and watching till the end if you have. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and
Share.
and let us know what you think of the game.
all right, yeah, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, like and subscribe.